everybody, and welcome to my video. Today we're going to make a card, and I have some product here that we're going to use. We're going to use the Pocket Full of Sunshine and the die that goes with this. So this, you can get this with a die, and it cuts all these things out, makes some cute items. I'm going to be using the pocket here, and I'm going to use the die, but really you could just fussy cut this out. It's a really easy image to cut out because we just want the front of it for a card. And then I'm going to be using this stamp set for a sentiment, but when I was kind of playing around with this, I actually had this idea that I thought it would be so cute to do the pocket, and then this is the beautiful bouquet, and you can get a die to go with this. And then I was thinking it would be really cute to do all of the flowers and have the flowers coming out of the pocket, so I might have to try that later this week. So the colors that we're going to be using are going to be Peekaboo Peach, and we're also going to use Night of Navy, which is right here, because we're going to be using this paper right here. And this is really pretty paper, and my favorite piece is the piece we're going to be using, but it has these great colors in it. And I'm actually going to do a Simply Pages video for you guys using some of this paper later on this week, but we'll use that paper. So one of the things that you guys need to know is that the end colors are retiring here pretty soon. So when we go into April, we're going to be having several of these colors retire, and we're going to have Flirty Flamingo and Emerald Envy, Peekaboo Peach, Dapper Denim, and Sugar Plum are all going to be going away. So what I'm going to do is, in the YouTube description and over on my website, I'm going to have a supply list of all of the items that come in these colors. So the cardstock, the markers, the inks, the re-inkers, we have some ribbon that are in these colors, and I'm going to list all of those items because any of those things that you guys want out of these colors, you need to purchase right away. So every single year, I have somebody who emails me after everything has retired because it goes really quick. Stampin' Up! Will be announcing this the middle of April, and once it's announced by Stampin' Up!, these things sell out within 4 to 6 hours. So I always have one customer who ends up being really sad that they didn't get their Emerald Envy re-inker, or they didn't get the Peekaboo Peach stamp pad, and there's nothing I can do. Once they retire and sell out, they sell out and they're gone forever. So I've already ordered a set of re-inkers, and I've already ordered a set of markers so that I have them on hand so I can have them in my collection all the time. And today we're going to be using Peekaboo Peach. So let's get started and do some stamping. I'm going to grab a piece of grid paper instead of using regular cardstock like I often do, and you guys leave me comments and say, don't use your cardstock for scrap paper. So this time I have some grid paper, and we actually sell this grid paper. You can get it, and it comes with 100 sheets, and then you have it. So I'm starting off with a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, and this is at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I want to grab a piece of Whisper White. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut our Whisper White. We'll cut it this way. So we're going to cut at 4 1/4. So we have our card base, and then what I want to do with my Night of Navy is leave it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's going to cover the whole card base, and then we're going to take a piece of our designer paper. So this is my favorite piece right here. I love this one. And we're going to cut this at 4 inches. And then we'll cut it at 5 1/4. And we're going to be able to layer that onto our card. So let's get this part started. We'll fold our Whisper White cardstock here. You could use our thick Whisper White for your card base if you wanted. And then we have our 2 layers. So these 2 layers can go together. Nothing else is happening on these that will, for them to be apart. It'll be totally fine. So we'll layer these together. And then this is going to go on our card base, and it's going to cover our entire white card base, okay? So let's set those aside, and then let's do some stamping. So the first thing we're going to stamp is we're going to grab our Night of Navy cardstock. I have a Stays On White ink pad. Now I got mine on Amazon, and I will put a link for that. We don't sell that anymore, but it's a ink pad that I have to have. So I'm just going to ink this up with some white Stays On. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this down. You could use white embossing powder if you wanted. That would work as well. So we have the pocket, and then we have this little detail stitched part for our pocket. And you guys know, if you guys have been following me for a while, I love anything that is stitched. So now I'm gonna line this up, hopefully, just like that. That was pretty good. So let's close this ink pad up. Now you can use the die for this, or you can just fussy cut it out. This is a pretty straightforward image, so it's easy to cut out. Or you can use the die. So let's just cut this out. Okay, so the very next thing we're gonna do is grab our sentiment, and our sentiment is from this stamp set. I love the fonts of this, and it's gonna say thanks a bunch. So I just wanna get this, all of this stamped so that we can set it aside and it can dry and we can work on the rest of the card. Okay, perfect. So we have thanks a bunch right on there. And we're gonna set this aside. So the next, okay, so we have our piece of Peekaboo Peach cardstock right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our heart punch. Now this is a retired heart punch, but I love it. I can't stop using it. You could use framelits if you wanted. If you have another heart punch. Okay, so we have those. I did 4 of them. We're gonna lay these out here on my, because we're gonna stamp over them. So I wanna lay these out. So let me show you what stamps that I have. So this is actually not a Stampin' Up! Stamp. This is a Close to My Heart stamp, and it came with a Cricut bundle. So it is the Cricut bundle, the big flowers, and it's these background stamps. So any background stamp that you have is going to work. I thought that this would be perfect to use. We might as well get use out of that. So I'm not even going to put these on a clear block. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this down right like this. I have my flowers down. I'm going to take my Peekaboo Peach ink. We'll open this up. And then I'm going to ink these backgrounds. And I'm just leaving it on that plastic. I'm not moving it. I'm not putting it on a clear block. Nothing. We're going to make it really simple. We're going to ink that up. We'll pick this up on the plastic. And then we will just press this down onto the hearts. Any background you have will work. This is just what I had on hand. So we pick it up, and then we have these hearts that are all inked. So now let's put together the card. So I'm going to move my grid paper so you guys can see a little bit easier. We have our pocket, we have our hearts, and then we're going to have a couple other things. Here I've taken some soft sky paper, and then I've taken my ink pad and I've smashed it down onto this paper. So that gives me a little bit darker look. And then I'm going to take my little flower punch and I'm going to punch out 3 flowers. And I wanted a little bit of a darker color, and I wanted some ink on here because what I'm going to do is grab my Wink of Stella. And can you guys see? Oh, nope, I'm not even on camera. Okay, so there's my little flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add Wink of Stella right to these flowers. It's going to reactivate that ink on that paper, and it's going to give it a different look. Okay, so I have that. We'll set that aside to dry so we have all of our pieces. So now the very next thing we're going to do is I just pulled out some ribbon. This is some old ribbon. I wanted something that would go with this, some orange. I was looking for some Peekaboo Peach orange, but I didn't have any. So I want to go ahead and cut this, and we're going to do a cheater method bow. You just cut a strip like this, then you cut another little strip, and then you take this and you tie it in a knot, and it looks like a bow. Makes it really easy. And then this bow is going to move down the ribbon, so you can move it along the ribbon to the place that you need it to be. So what I want to do is I want to put this right on the edge here. Probably like this. So I'm just going to take some tape and put that on the back. And then what I always like to do is I like to just melt the ends of my ribbon just so they don't fray, and it gives it a nice finished look. You got to be super careful when you do that. So now let's start putting together the rest of our card. We can add this piece. I've trimmed off that little bit of extra white. So on the back of this, we're going to do some foam tape. Okay, then you're going to grab one of our little paper doilies, and we are going to cut the very tip of this one off. Right on the back of our little pocket, we're going to run some adhesive. And you'll need to cut the edges off. This will be a little bit long. This looks kind of, you know, funky and not cut nice. It doesn't have to be. It's just going to pop up from the back of the pocket, just like that. We'll bring our pocket back over and we can put this down. Our pocket is now down. Then our little tiny blue flowers, we're going to grab those, and the best way to put these on are with glue dots. So I just have a little sheet of glue dots here. There we go. And then now these hearts that we stamped, what we're going to do is they're going to come out of the pocket. So what I want to do next with these is I want to take my blends marker and I want to take this edge, the paintbrush edge, and I just very quickly, you got to do this quickly because this soaks into the cardstock. I just messed that one up. So you're just going to run it along the edge. Okay, so then these hearts are going to go right in the pocket. So two of them are just going to be flat. Okay, so then we'll just place these in here just like that. So the hearts are tucked into the pocket. And the very last thing that we're going to do is just take some rhinestones and put them right here in the middle of these flowers. This is definitely not my typical card. It had lots of pieces and lots of different dyes and punches and coloring and different techniques, but I really have been wanting to use this pocket set, which is in our annual catalog. And again, when I was kind of coming up with this and playing around with this, I thought that it would be so cute. Once I stamped this "Thanks a bunch," I thought it would be so cute for the flowers to be coming out of the pocket, which maybe I'll try to do later this week, but I thought I would share this with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I loved using the Peekaboo Peach and this designer series paper. This particular design is my favorite, and I can't wait to use that on a simply layered pages that will be coming up later this week. You guys, don't forget that this is the last few days of celebration, so if you're wanting any product of the celebration items for free, when you place a $50 order, you can get that. There's a new host code that is on my blog today. I'll put that maybe right up here. So use that new host code today, and then make sure you pick up your celebration items. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I'll be back on Wednesday with another video for you guys, and I hope you're having a fabulous start to your week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching my videos. Here are 2 other of my most recent videos. I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will catch you in my next video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.